Hey everyone, I'm Andrea and I'm teaching millennials how to get into the entertainment industry. And today our guest is Donnell Turner, who also plays Curtis Ashford on ABC's General Hospital, which is amazing. I want to hear a little bit more about that character.
All right. Well, how you doing? Thank you for having me here.
Of course. Thank you.
Wow, Curtis Ashford. This guy is a former DEA, former Baltimore PD.
Yeah.
Had a drug problem and he lost his job, and he's in the process now. Port Charles General Hospital finds him on the rebound or on the come up, and so this is a guy who's straightened his life out, and he still has the tools. He's still very capable of what he does, what he calls a profession, which is solving crimes, and as Curtis has said abundantly, he seeks truth.
Ooh.
And so this guy's not quite a good guy, not quite a bad guy, just kind of toes that line right in the middle.
Just with the whole justice and truth
yeah,
factor.
Truth and justice.
That's amazing, because there's not a lot of characters out there that actually go for the truth and justice type feel, right?
Yeah, there's usually an angle. I don't think Curtis has an angle. It's just, there might be a small angle. He likes getting paid.
Oh, he likes getting paid. Who doesn't like getting paid?
Like a little cash in their pocket?
Exactly. But so you've also, besides playing Curtis Ashford on General Hospital, you've also played characters on How to Get Away with Murder, Revenge, Two Broke Girls. What was your favorite character so far?
Wow. There was a sitcom called Love That Girl.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
And it was, I think it was on the UPN. And it was my first guest starring role, 4-camera comedy, which means over the top, have fun, act crazy. And I got to play a shisty, sort of smarmy real estate guy, con man, named Calvin B. Lyons.
Ooh, Lyons.
And it really just gave me an opportunity to have fun and wild out and laugh. And we had so much fun on that show. It's still one of my, probably one of my favorite jobs as an actor.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Do you keep up with all of the different actors that were part of the show still?
A few. In fact, the great Phil Morris was on that show, so I just bumped into him at an audition recently.
No way.
And I mean, he's so cool. He remembered me. We stopped, we talked, hugs, and all of that. So it's kind of nice to be where I am in Hollywood now, because I started, as just a guy moving here with my eyes, wide and eyebrows up, and I'd see actors every now and then at a stoplight or if I were doing background work on a lot. And now to be one of them, it just feels good. Like Phil Morris, for example, I met him 15 years ago at Warner Brothers.
It's crazy.
And he was polite then, but, we were, I was sort of a subordinate, I was looking up. And so to see him now on equal status or whatever, it was really nice. It feels good to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
The right timing, the right place, the people that you meet in the entertainment industry. Like, we met at Disney Channel when I used to work there, and you were just auditioning for a part on Bizarre Park.
Yeah, I was beaming. I think I was clicking my heels when I met you. I was like, yep, I just nailed this audition.
You
got
were.
one. I don't think I booked it. I don't think I booked it, but
okay.
you know what? I think for younger actors, I think we could learn from that the victory is doing a good job.
Yes.
Whether you get cast or not is irrelevant, because it could be a height thing, a skin tone. You could remind someone of someone in the past. So it's not that. Do good work and feel good about the work you do, and then whatever happens, happens. But for me, that was a good day because I met you. You had this great energy, big old smile. You didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know you from Eve. But it was just like, hey. You were like, hey.
Yeah.
And then it was like, follow me on social media. I think we just said something like that. We exchanged names for Facebook.
It was on an elevator,
Literally.
and then we were just talking for 2-3 minutes?
However long it took to get from floor 1 to floor 3, and the parking garage 3. And I mean, you even now, your energy is great, big old smile, and I'm not really the type to just approach somebody and say, hi, it's kind of creeper-like. It's not really my thing.
No, it's not creeper status.
Well, especially alone in the elevator, but,
right.
I was feeling good, and it all worked out, and here we are.
Yeah.
And you just never know how the roads are going to come together.
You never know. Well, and the thing is, you just have to be grateful for every opportunity that's given to you.
Indeed.
And this is an amazing opportunity. I'm so happy that you're one of my guests, because I feel like every single person's going to learn so much from you, because you have so much wisdom from the time that you were so young to now. And I know that one of the things that I want people to know is, what was your ultimate dream when you first began your journey into Hollywood?
Domination. No, my dream was to do what I love to do,
Yeah.
which is telling stories on camera, and get and make a career of it, to be rewarded financially, but
Yeah.
also lauded by my peers and of course strangers. But you want to be recognized and acknowledged for what you love, and if you do it, you
Absolutely.
put your work into it, your heart into it, and when people say "attaboy" or "good job," it's rewarding. It's
Yeah.
validating.
Well, and you feel that sense of recognition
Yeah.
for doing something that you are passionate about.
Absolutely. I had an affirmation before I signed my contract last year. My affirmation that I said every day, even when it was difficult on some days, I said, I am signing a good contract
Love
on
that.
a good, successful show with a good part that I'm good at, that I'm happy with, and that I'm lauded for. And
Okay.
absolutely every one of those sort of affirmations came true.
And you know, that's a trick that a lot of millennials need to have.
Yeah.
They need to have that positive attitude. They need to have affirmations set out for themselves,
Absolutely.
goals. And so I think that's so inspirational that you have done that. And now you're here at this point playing this amazing character on General Hospital.
Thank you.
And I just think that's so profound and amazing. So my next question to you is like, what helped you focus to get into Hollywood? Before you even got here, because you came from Chicago.
Chicago, then Northern California, Sacramento.
Northern California, Sacramento. Okay.
And then here. I always wanted to be an actor, but it's the kind of thing that you don't really tell people when you're younger because they go, get a real job. And,
Yeah.
And so I just kind of suppressed it. I told mom and dad what they wanted to hear, which was, I want to be a doctor.
Oh, so they wanted you to be a doctor.
Oh, well, what parents don't want
Well,
their
I
kids, what parent doesn't want their kids to be
Yeah.
a doctor, lawyer, whatever. But you probably don't want to hear actor. And before that, it was basketball player. And so I played basketball for 22 years. I played Junior Olympics and Cal Stars. I played college and semi-pro. I ruptured my Achilles tendon, so that ended that. But all the while, I thought basketball would lead me to acting. I wanted to be one of those guys. And, the good Lord had other plans. And so I had to take a very real-world route prior to getting here. And it involved different jobs. I've done everything from digging ditches to Federal Express. I was the cable
Wow.
installer, going door to door, which was interesting. But I never lost my focus. In fact, the first 5 years I lived in LA, I have a journal. I should have brought it because I can show you.
That's amazing.
Where I wrote every day and I numbered my days. You were talking about goals.
Yeah.
So I put myself on a short-term, a mid-term, and a long-term goal. And I put myself on a 5-year plan when I first moved to LA, which is like 1,875 days or something like that.
Yeah.
So in my journal, I numbered every day. And the people who knew me, like 2-3 years in, they were like, "Oh, Donnell, what day are you on?" I'd be like, 9/16. And they thought that was so fascinating. And to me, it was just me having a plan, When you get off the bus in LA, you don't know where to go.
No, you don't.
So you're like, where do I go? And I knew one thing I could do was focus my mind, center in, set my goals, and then learn the business, learn what I needed to do.
And
next.
how to implement and be focused.
So I have a journal at home, 5 years, numbered and written in every day about my experience.
So in a way, it's kind of like the 12-week, 12-year plan.
Yeah. I think you need that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get lost, especially in this town.
Yeah, totally. Because there's different directions that you can go.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what are some of the struggles that maybe you've endured along the way?
It's real easy to get caught up partying.
Yeah.
Women, parties, other distractions. I mean, it's just real easy to lose focus. In fact, I partied for the first 6 years I moved here because it was so easy. All the clubs, I'd never seen so many nightclubs and so many beautiful women and opportunities and chances to do things. And so I kind of got derailed, and I had to, look at my journal and remind myself why I'm here. And once I had kind of locked back in and focused, which was in 2007, things started happening.
So what was maybe one thing that you wish that you would have known before, you got into Hollywood?
The one thing I wish I would have known was, I'd have to say don't follow the trend. There's a lot of people doing the same thing and winding up in the same place.
So how do you differentiate yourself from everyone else?
You defer to, I deferred to the wisdom from my parents, you know, the wisdom from the good book growing up. And I know healthy association, you know, bad association spoils good morals.
That is true, yes.
And so, you know, it took a while to realize who was the wolf in sheep's clothing. And it took a minute, you know, because at first you just want to party and have fun, so you just kind of accept everybody. You get burned a few times, and then you start exercising an ounce of caution. So for me, it was, I don't know if it was one thing or the combination of things, but it was like, you know what, I need to just focus and stay out of the clubs and maybe go get into acting classes and workshops. And
did you have, so your mother and father were that center figure for you to keep your head on straight, right?
Oh, absolutely. Mom's an evangelist, dad's a Baptist minister, so I grew up pretty anchored. I know where my strength comes from. That's not to say I haven't made my mistakes. I haven't deviated and tried to figure things out on my own. But ultimately, I'm thankful for the moral boundaries they instilled, because I know where, you know, I knew how to find my way back home.
What was one thing that your mom maybe told you that you still keep with you throughout this entire journey?
There's not just one, Angie. There's oh man.
I want to hear them.
I know. I got. Mom's got limericks. Mom's got lyrics. Let me see. You know, play with trash, it'll get in your eye, or you know, oh, what you do in the dark will come to the light.
Ooh, I like that.
That governs actually a lot of my behavior.
Really? In what way?
Well, you know, you just you know, one of the definitions of character is who you are when no one's looking. So I think that goes right hand in hand with what Mom was saying, like what you do in the dark comes to light. So whether anyone's looking or not, you know, maybe we should hold ourselves to a higher standard.
It is very true.
I'm not a saint, but you know, Mom and Dad and Grandma had all the good words to keep us in line.
Well, the good thing is that you had very good role models in your life, and I mean, clearly, like, when I met you, I knew right away, I was like, this guy has a really good soul. He's got a really down-to-earth image with himself, and you really carry yourself so well, and I love that you bring that with your character, too.
Thank you.
Which is so unique. Not a lot of actors are able to bring their own uniqueness and bring it out into their character.
Someone once told me, an actor I respect shared some wisdom. I hang on to little nuggets of wisdom that I gather along the way. The ear garbage just kind of goes out. And the actor said it's not who you become because you're playing the character, but who that character becomes because you're playing them. And that has empowered me to bring a little bit of me to every character. And you don't want to limit yourself and say, okay, that's just Donnell being a janitor. Okay, that's Donnell being a lawyer.
Right.
I mean, you want to morph into the part, but at the same time, I like that I might bring my heart to whatever character, even if you're playing a bad guy.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
The bad guy is a hero in their own story. So and I also like that General Hospital has given me some creative autonomy. So they allow me to say something that Donnell would say as Curtis versus being word perfect. Yeah, I'm pretty blessed that when they hired me, I auditioned for the part of Dr. Maddox. I didn't get it. My wonderful manager, Addison, told me, stay calm. I was freaking out. I'm like, okay, I didn't hear anything. He was like, well, you know, we're just going to wait.
Yeah.
He's so calm. He keeps me together. And we waited, and I'm glad I didn't flip out because I got a phone call weeks later, which is atypical. And they were like, they went with someone else. And I said, okay, well, you know, thank you. And they're like, but ABC really likes you. So they're creating a character for you as we speak. And in New York, creating a character, and I'm thinking, wait, what? That's what every actor wants to hear.
My own unique character.
Yeah, all mine. Like I'm not someone's brother or picking up someone's character who left, you know.
Wow.
And so that entitled me to, you know, have fun.
Yeah.
They had sort of an idea of what they wanted for Curtis, and then when I showed up, they were like, yeah, you're not that. And we sort of created Curtis on the fly the first couple episodes, and they told me, tell our story, but use your words. So I mix in the little isms, little cultural isms or Donnell-isms that thankfully the fans have responded to. Like saying black ass or keep my name out your mouth, you know, stuff like that, punk ass, and all that stuff that might toe the line in daytime. I try to do that. I've asked them several times, can I say this or can I say that? And they're like, not in daytime. I'm like, I can't say effed up. And they're like, not in daytime.
Not quite.
Yeah.
We've got children watching.
PC, effed up? Well, I can't say that.
No, that's so cool though that they've
But,
given you that
yeah.
opportunity
I
to
know.
just shine.
And I think it's even cooler. Yeah, that is also very cool. And then also equally as cool is that the fans are responding favorably.
Totally. Would you say that in Hollywood it's important to have a mentor guide you along the way? Yeah.
Absolutely. You're unaware of the pitfalls. I was I was mentored. I had the opportunity to be close with an actor because I was behind the scenes, I was doubling, and I got to ask every question. I got to see the lifestyle, but that was only during working hours. I didn't see what happened after we wrapped. And now that I have this platform in life, I'm understanding all the pressures that I didn't even know about, even though I was so closely in the business. Now, I've worked in Hollywood for 16 years straight, behind the cameras.
Unbelievable.
I've had valet jobs and Starbucks jobs, but those were on the weekends or after. So I've been behind the cameras for 16 years, and I've had a chance to meet and observe a lot of actors, ask questions. And a lot of guys a lot of people are not forthcoming with a lot of their information.
Yeah.
There's a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of, oh, you're here when you're going home. You know, that type of
really?
stuff. Oh, yeah. From actors you would be surprised about, actually. People, I'm like, oh my God, I've watched all your movies and you're
And you're still
worried about me?
Yeah.
I was making $50 a day at that time. And it was, but the good ones really offer those nuggets of wisdom that I've hung on to. And I think it's important to have a mentor. And it's also important to listen to them. Everyone's journey will be different.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be aware of some of the pitfalls.
Yeah, because they might have something that they've gone through,
Right.
and then they can share that with you,
Right.
and then you might even experience it later down the road.
Right.
I'm sure you've encountered situations
I
like
most
that.
certainly have, and I remembered the lesson. I remembered those words, and it allowed me to just kind of sidestep that pitfall.
Can you maybe share one of your experiences?
Oh my goodness! Well, you know what? One of them I remember was you're about to sign this 4-year contract. Don't kick your feet up, and don't get lost in the sauce.
I like that. That's
And
really
Both
interesting.
of those resonated with me.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very powerful, and like that's something that everyone goes through. You don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know. I know you're huge on giving back to millennials in high schools and universities. So can you tell us a little bit more about that movement?
Well, absolutely. When I was in high school, junior high, any distraction to get out of class was great for me. So if we had a speaker coming, it was cool. Like, oh, great, I get to get out of history class to go sit for half an hour and listen to someone. And inevitably, I would learn something. You know, whether I was just looking at what they were wearing or just happy to be out of class, I wound up listening and learning and gathering some good information. Most likely that I've kept to this day. For me, it's an opportunity to give back to, you know, I live to inspire, encourage, and motivate.
I love that so much.
Yeah, and I just think it's important. I have this platform such that it is, and I think it, you know, there's a responsibility to give back. You know, I didn't make it here by myself, and so I think I'd be remiss if I were to just kind of hoard all this information and these blessings. So I think we just give back, you know.
So you give back by sharing your story as an actor and how you got to your end goal and encourage everyone else to go after their dreams,
That's right.
no matter the circumstance.
There's a friend of mine who's worked the same job at a grocery store for 20 years. He has a nice house. And he is successful in his own right, and I'm not belittling that in any way. But when his younger nieces and good friends of mine, I'm friends with all them.
Yeah.
They were asking about their future. They're 20. Should they go the safe, conservative grocery store route? So they asked my friend, and that was his advice.
Really?
And then when they asked me, my advice is follow your dream. Whatever your passion is, do that. Push your sleeves up and go all in. Don't listen to the haters, and pay your dues, because it'll pay off. If it pays off, it'll be worth it. Both are right. Neither one is wrong. I understand. It's just, do you want to play it safe, or do you want to really go and try to live that life that's fulfilling? And for me, that was my journey. It took 20 years, and now I'm very happy.
And now you're here.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And there were times where the palms were up, and I'm looking at the sky going, my God. But now it's all worth it. but I can't then poo-poo the person who took the safe route and has the job, and so it's just, whatever. But one thing I do preach is unshakable faith. Whatever your path, believe in yourself, believe in your product, go hard, do the work, and whatever is for you will be for you.
Being in the unknown is sometimes fun because you never know who you're going to meet, what type of experience you're going to encounter, and exactly that. You find yourself, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
You found yourself, and you believed in the universe and the power of God and just everything that got you to where you are today.
I mean, I've heard every comment about, your look is played out, you talk too articulate, you're too light-skinned. I've heard all of that. You need cornrows, you need to sag your pants, no facial hair. I've heard everything you can imagine to discourage me. And again, my message is that of unshakable faith. Just believe in your product and do the work. And do the work. Don't be afraid to do the work.
Don't worry about the haters. Just go out there.
Yeah, haters gonna hate.
Yeah, they always will.
That's what they do, yeah.
So I know you're also a huge advocate for the Autism Speaks Foundation. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how you got involved?
Yeah, a good friend of mine has a son, and she is on the board for Autism Speaks, and I've watched young Andrew grow up, and now he is a teenager, and I see the burden that is on the family and other families, and besides the physical and emotional burden, that's also financial burden. I mean, the statistics say that a family dealing with, raising a child that's on the spectrum, it's at least a $60,000 a year expense. When I talk to my friend who's on the board, she says it's more like $120,000.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's a financial burden on top of everything. But the statistics are staggering. It truly is an epidemic. There's no prevention. There's no cure. We don't even know the cause. There's no treatment. So it's really one of the great unknowns. And so we just want to raise awareness, and that's my mission, and funds, and let's get a cure. Let's put this puzzle together.
I think that's amazing. Is there a website that maybe my viewers can go visit and donate?
There's a myriad of them. You can go to Autism Speaks,
and
learn more. There's Autism Now. There's so many. But I'm pleased to be a part of it. It's something that I didn't know much about. I had a cousin who had it. And, we go back 30 years. We didn't know what was wrong with my cousin. And so we were kind of like, and there was a word that we used that sort of encompassed everyone that was different. It started with an R that I think is very insulting. And now that we know what it is, we can appreciate those people. My cousin was very brilliant in a lot of ways. He was good with math, and he could draw anything, and he knew several languages. But he didn't communicate the way we do. He was a little different. And so we have about 500,000 people that are going to be transitioning into adulthood in the next few years with autism.
Amazing.
And we can't call all of them names.
No, we can't. You have to treat them as an equal.
Shooting all of them dead. We have to understand that some people respond differently, and that they're not automatically criminals. They're not automatically strange or crazy. That we need some understanding.
And we need to help them too, and help other people understand what they're also enduring as well.
There have been some great minds that have been on the spectrum. And Bill Gates, Andy Warhol, there are many. So you never know who, and maybe we shouldn't cast judgment.
We shouldn't.
Try to live in love.
Amen to that. So Donnell, would it be all right if we go ahead and put your social media on this?
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that. Okay.
All right, cool.
Because I'm trying to up my social media game. So, you can check me out on Instagram at Donnell Turner, Donnell. Let's see, there's Twitter. At Donnell Turner and the number 1. If you forget that one, somebody else is going to be real mad.
Well, he's the number 1 over here.
Oh, watch out. Thank you.
That's how you remember,
guys. Thank you. Donnell Turner 1 on Twitter. And then, Facebook, Donnell Turner, and I think that's it. But
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely post that on our Facebook page below and our YouTube channel. And so I'm so grateful that you and I have had this opportunity to talk about, just everything about the entertainment industry as a whole. And I think you really brought some sense into the millennial group as to how difficult it can be to go through this journey, but not to be afraid to step out of that comfort zone,
there's a book that I read right before I moved to Hollywood, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And I actually recommend this book to everyone.
Oh, what is that?
It's a book by Susan Jeffers called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
I love that. That book is my...
You see me?
Yes. I'm teaching that book in my class.
Wow.
Yes.
Isn't that powerful?
It is the most powerful book that you could ever...
And yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
And it's true because we're all, every success book I've ever read, they mention there was fear.
Yes.
But you can't let that stop you.
No.
And fear will always be there, but the successful people work through it. They work past it.
You can't let it deter you from going after your dreams.
No.
So we'll definitely put that book in the link as well because I highly recommend it as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
But thank you so much, Donnell, for being
Pleasure.
here
Yeah.
and for letting me interview you. This is amazing.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, and we got to do it again.
We will.
And it's good to see you again. You look great.
It's good to see you too. Well, stay tuned for next week because we got another professional behind the scenes, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.